Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can make your own mug mock-ups really easily. I'm going to show you how to do it in Photoshop, how to make a smart layer, and how to make a set of actions so you can have your very own unique mock-ups for mugs. So my audio is going to be off a little bit here. I'm not set up very well, but hopefully you can hear me alright. But most people will have a mug in their house, white or a black mug or whatever, with a design on one side and clear on the other. So I'm going to use this mug. I'm just going to take a couple of pictures with an old iPhone 6. So again, most people will have a better iPhone than what I've got. This is an old one. I'm going to do it with this. I'm going to go over here, take a couple of pictures. You know, they might not be the best. I've got some coffee and stuff over there, but you could put a little bit more effort into your pictures. But actually putting the design on here is going to be the bit that's going to really help you. So I'm literally just going to take a couple of pictures, then we'll hop onto Photoshop. I'll show you how to make a smart layer which puts the design onto your mug realistically, and then I'll show you how to make a basic set of actions so that anybody selling mugs, you can stand out from the crowd regardless of your design, and make a nice little set of actions and have your very own mock-ups that nobody else has without any fancy equipment other than a cup, a phone and Photoshop. Okay, so with that said, I'm just going to take my pictures here and then we'll hop over onto the computer and I'll show you the computer stuff in Photoshop. Okay, so I've taken a couple of pictures. Let's hop over on the computer and see how they look. Okay guys, so I've just airdropped these over to my computer, and what I'm going to do is just copy them, and I'm going to go to my desktop here and I'm going to make a new folder on my desktop and call it Mockups. Okay, and then in that folder I'm going to make another one called PSDs. And I'm going to add my JPEGs in here, or the photographs I took. Now, bear in mind, I very quickly did these. It probably will take you a little bit of practice to get it. I know the light in here is not very good, so you're going to want some good light on these. So these might be a bit tricky. So, you know, ignore my terrible photography skills. It might take you a bit of practice, but what I'm going to show you, you know, you can apply to any of your own photos with a bit of practice. So I've popped those in, and then what I'm going to do is make another folder here called Publish, and this is going to be for our actions. So we're going to automate this so that it puts the designs on the mugs as well. And then I'm going to jump into Photoshop here, and I'm going to go up to the top, go File, New, and I'm going to create a new canvas which is going to be 2800 by 3200. Okay, with 72 resolution, hit create. Okay, then I'm going to turn the background off. I'm going to come up here, go layer, new fill layer, solid color, hit OK. I'm going to make it red. Okay, then I'm going to get my text tool over here, and I'm going to just type place art here. Okay, stick it in the middle somewhere like that. By the way, if you don't see your layers over here, just make sure come up to window and make sure you've got layers checked. You can uncheck anything in between version history and 3D depending on personal preferences. Basically these will pop out panels on the right hand side here, so you definitely need to have your layers showing when we're working in Photoshop. Then what I'm going to do is go File, Save As, and then in the folder on my desktop, my Mockups folder here, I'm going to name this Art Template. Okay, and then I'm going to save it as a PSD, which is Photoshop, the format here. Windows will look a little bit different, but you'll have a Photoshop option there. Go ahead, hit save and hit OK. Okay, so we've got a PSD folder with our photographs in. We've got an empty publish folder, and we now have an art template PSD. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is make my first part of my action, which is going to just save the artwork. So you don't necessarily have to do the actions part of this, but it will make things a heck of a lot easier if you can do it. So what you need to do is go to window and have your actions checked, yeah, or you can click these tiny little arrows, and your actions and history ones should come out anyway. So again, your actions will look different to mine because these are all the actions I've made. You may just, if you've never made actions, there are some standard ones that Photoshop will put in here, or you may have installed some from somewhere else. Okay, but what we're going to do is make our own. So either way, and by the way, I've seen people get stuck with this, you can pull this in and out if needed. Okay, so again, yours might look weird, and you can pull it from the bottom as well, especially when you have it stuck out. Well, I don't even know how they did it, but I've seen somebody not be able to get into this. So just remember that you can drag out from the sides and stuff. So when we got our actions panel out, what we're going to do is click this little tiny folder at the bottom here. We'll name it Mug Mockups. Now you can name it whatever you want, as long as you know what it is. Hit OK. Nothing's happened yet. We haven't made an action. Basically, you know, this is like a folder to store all of our actions related to this. So the first action I'm going to make is basically just going to save the artwork, and when we run the actions you'll see why. So all you need to do is press this little plus icon down here, and I'm going to call it Save Art, okay, which is a good name for it. Hit record, and you'll notice this red light at the bottom here comes on, which means we're recording, which means every click you do within Photoshop is going to record. So just remember that, because the amount of times I've forgotten I'm recording and it's just recorded everything and ruined my actions. So just remember, we are in record mode at the moment. Next, what I'm going to do is go File. Now you can, let's just stick with Save As. You can use Export. So we'll go Save As and go into your Publish folder and just call it Art. So it should default to Art Template because that's the name of the PSD, but just call it Art. Use this drop down here and save it as a PNG. Windows will look a bit different, like I say, but you'll have the option, a drop down option somewhere to save it as a PNG. Go ahead, hit Save, hit OK, and then hit Stop. Don't forget to hit Stop on your action. Okay, so what we've got now is one simple action which will save anything that's in, when we've got this PSD open, anything in this PSD. And what I'm going to do is grab some designs. I'm just going to grab some mug designs here so that we can test it. Okay, let me just grab these. I'm just going to drop these in, and this is what you can do with your mug designs. Now they come in small, so let's say you, like I've just dropped a 5 in or something. Let's say you've got 10. What you can do is drop them in like that, highlight the top layer, hold down Shift, highlight the bottom layer, press Command T or Control T on Windows, and then you can drag them all out at the same time. Hit Return or Enter once you filled the canvas area. And I've got a background layer on here, so I'm going to turn all of these off. I'm going to turn everything off except for the very top layer. Okay, so now we've got a design in here, and you can stack your art template up with designs. And like I say, when we run the actions you'll see the benefit of this. But all I'm going to do now is highlight Save Art and hit the play button down there. Okay, so I highlighted Save Art and I hit play. If we go and look in our folder now on our desktop, here we can see it's changed. If you remember, I made the main folder, Mug Mockups, on my desktop, the PSDs, the Publish folder, and here it is saved in the Publish folder. Now if I switch designs, that one's got a background on it, and I hit Save Art, one click, it's saved the art. It's overwritten that original one and saved it. Okay, so we've now got the first step of our action in. The next thing to do is come into the PSDs folder and start converting your images into PSDs with smart layers. So what I'm going to do is right click. This looks like the best shot that I got. They do look a bit ropey, to be fair. So I've opened this. This is just a normal image. First of all, I'm going to unlock the background. I'm going to hit these two little icons to give me a bit more room. I am in fact going to go back to my art template because I was just showing you how that worked. And what I'm going to do is switch these two layers on again, and I'm just going to run the action so I've got that red image there. Okay, then what I'm going to do
is I'm going to go to my published folder, and here's the red image that the action just saved, and I'm going to drag and drop it onto the canvas. Okay, it's in free transform. Don't do anything with it yet, don't resize it or anything like that, just press return or enter. On the layer up here, I like to name this place art here. Okay, just so it's neat and tidy and you know where the art's got to go, although this is very basic. And then what we're going to do is right click on the empty space of the layer here, hit convert to smart object, and then Command T or Control T again. And if I press return just to get out of it, you can also do that if you go edit and then free transform. It's exactly the same thing as Command or Control T, it's just easier to do Command T, the shortcut. Then I'm going to size this up, okay, on the mug. Okay, it looks like it needs a bit of a twist. You see, we can grab any of these squares here and it will resize in proportion. Okay, so it will keep its dimensions. If I go to the corner and move out, I don't know if you can see, but my cursor changes to like a curved arrow, which means I can twist it. So you can twist it up if you needed. So let's twist it up a little bit to there. Then before we do anything else, if we come up to edit here and hover over transform, this other menu pops out, and then we can click warp. Now with warp, you've got to be careful, because if you mess around with it a lot, it will make your designs look really whack. So just be real careful with this warp, and each picture will be different to what you do. But usually if you've got a nice square on shot, you can follow the curve of the bottom of the cup here, and what I do is always grab it in the middle like that. Okay, try to keep it in the middle as much as you can and drag it down like this. And this one is almost going up, so I'd go up. See how I wobbled a bit there? Okay, something like that. So let's press return or enter. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just save this PSD before I go on anymore. So I'm going to go file, save as. I'm going to save it in the same folder where the images are, and you could rename it if you want so it's neat and tidy. Let's call this mug 1 as a Photoshop document. So you have this format on Photoshop, hit save, hit OK. Now I want a design to try in there, so what I'm going to do is come back to my art template here and just run my art action again, just so I've got a design. Back to my mug, first mug PSD here, and then over here where we did place art here, in the top left hand corner of this thumbnail, we can double click and then we can drag and drop a piece of artwork in there. Press return or enter. If you need to stretch it out by grabbing the corners, let me just back this up, I'm just going to delete that. Drag, drop. If you need to resize it at all, remember you can use these handles, they're called. You can fill the canvas area, press return or enter when you're happy with it. Turn off the red layer at the back and hit the little X on this tab and hit save. Okay, now that design is placed on the mug. Now this shading here, I'm not too happy with this shading, but you know, like I say, I really put no effort into taking that at all. So what I'm going to do is double click on that smart layer again. I'm just going to delete that by pressing backspace, switch the red layer back on, hit close on the tab, hit save, so it's back to our standard thing. Okay, now I'm going to hit X on there and hit save because I already saved it in that folder. So now if we look in our PSDs folder, this one here I've now converted into, let's get rid of that, I've now converted that into a PSD and it's named as well. Okay, so now we go through the others. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, again a really poor shot, but it was just kind of very quickly doing it. What I need to do is just go back to my art template. I'm just going to get that image back by running my action. Pop back here. Let's do one more, and then I'll show you how to do the actions. Now you can make as many of these as you want. Okay, where am I at? Okay, I'm going to go back to my published folder, just grab my piece of art. Okay, so this is really the magical part for you. You create a canvas, 2800 by 3200 works with locker stock. That's their standard size for a mug, so you can go with that. It should work on pretty much any mug. Drag and drop it in. Before you do anything, press return or enter. Name the layer if you want. Oops. Place art here. Double click on the right click on the empty area, convert to smart object, and then we can do the manipulation. So Command T or Control T, the shortcut to put it in free transform. Scale it down first. Twist it if you need to twist it. Okay, something like that. Then before you do anything else, you have to do the warp. So if we come up to edit, transform, warp. Follow the contours of the cup. The bottom here is virtually straight. Okay, not too bad here. And then if you want to, what I'm going to do is save it just in case I make a mistake here. I'm going to call this Mug 2. Mug 2. I'm going to save it as a PSD, so we leave that on Photoshop. Now I've got it, just in case I accidentally close it or lose it. Now what I'm going to do is come back to my art template, save myself a design, hit play, back to my mug, and then I'm going to double click in the top left hand corner, opens up this new tab. Then I'm going to grab my art, drag and drop it in. Well, I could do with resizing. I could make this a bit bigger because we've got some empty space going on there. Okay, return or enter, turn off my background, close the tab, hit save. Okay, boom, we now have it on the mug there. So what I'm going to do is just revert this back. This layer that's highlighted here, press the backspace, it gets rid of it. Turn the red layer on, hit close, hit save, hit close, hit save. Now if anything, you can make your mockups one by one doing that, but of course now you've got this art template. If you can make yourself some actions, it's going to save you a boatload of time. Now I'm going to make the actions now, even though I've only got 2 PSDs. You can just carry on, continue on and on, making as many as you want. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make another action. So always make sure, like say if I was doing one up here, this maple cutting boards, I would expand it here and I'd highlight the one here, and then when I press the plus icon, it will come in the right place. So again, it's something that I've done a million times, is forgotten to highlight this bottom layer. So highlight under your mug mockups, highlight save art, press the plus icon, and then call this make mockups or whatever you want. You know, this could be 12 ounce or 11 ounce white mugs or whatever. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you name it as long as you know what it is. Hit record. Now remember, at this moment the red light's on, so every step we're doing is being recorded. So the easiest way to open up your PSDs is double clicking, is having the folder open here. Now I know on Windows, like on Mac here, I can right click this folder and open it in a new tab, and I got these 2 tabs here. I can go into my PSDs folder, so I can flick from these 2. Now on Windows File Explorer, you can do that by opening in a new window, and it will be down here somewhere in your File Explorer or whatever it's called on Windows. And you'll see when you're doing a lot of these, it's much easier to do it that way. So remember, we're recording. Basically, we need to open up the PSD, the first PSD. So Mug 1. Now here on Mac, I can just double click this, which is the easiest way. I'm sure you can do it on Windows. You might be able to right click and open it, but we'll do it this way for this one, and I'll do it the other way using the menu at the top to open the other one. So first of all, open your PSD, and you'll see down here on the Actions tab, it's open here, so it's recorded that action, that step. Okay, open, double click on our smart layer. Okay, over to publish here, grab whatever's in here, your art PNG, it doesn't matter if it's still red, press return or enter, turn off the back layer. So if you've dragged in a big red block, don't forget to turn off the back, because you won't notice that it's coming through, and then when you've got transparency you will notice. Hit close on this tab, hit save. Okay, then we're going to go file, I'm going to go export, save for web legacy. Okay, now when this panel comes up, you've got to watch this as well. Alright, Photoshop's having a moment. Okay, oh, I was just about to pause the video then. Now this will catch you out as well, especially if you're on Etsy. You want to have it on JPEG. This quality here, 60, you want to crank this puppy up. There's swines for it. Usually it remembers your settings from before, but just keep your eye on that all the time, because half the time it changes. Then we're going to go save. Okay, then I'm going to go to the desktop. I'm going to find my Mockups. Okay, I'm going to go to the publish folder and I'm going to hit save, mug1, save. Okay, then I'm going to hit close up here, but this time do not save. Okay, if you save it, you'll save it with the design in and you'll mess up your actions, so don't save. Okay, then we're going to go to the PSD2. So this time, instead of double clicking it from the folder, I'm going to show you the other way. You can go file, open, and then browse for, luckily it's opened the right folder, but then browse for the PSD and hit open. Double clicking them or dragging, or double clicking them is definitely the easiest way. Same thing again, double click on your layer, go to your art folder, or go to your publish folder, grab your art, drag and drop it in, press return. Don't forget to turn off the red layer, hit close here and save. Now sometimes if you're doing hundreds and hundreds of these, you get into a mess because you keep forgetting which one to press, because the first time you have to click save, so it puts it on the mug, and then the second time when we close this we don't save, so always stay vigilant there as well. File, export, save for web legacy, watch these, make sure they haven't changed it, hit save. Okay, it's going into the same folder, which is my publish folder. Hit save, and then we close this PSD and we hit don't save. Okay, so I'm going to hit stop. You could make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, however many of those you want to do. You can make them in wraps of 10 if you're on Etsy, and then just do 10 at a time. So let's close this, don't save. Right, let's say you get a load of designs that you want to use. Another day you come back to your computer, onto your desktop, you've got say 10 new designs. You come into your Mockup folder, you open up your artwork PSD folder, I just double clicked it, then you grab your designs. So I'm just going to grab my designs. Now another tip here, these are PSDs. Okay, so we can grab PSDs as well. You don't have to sit there saving all these as images. Just grab your PSDs, throw them in, keep pressing return or enter to drop as many in as you want. Okay, then highlight the very top layer, hold down shift, the very bottom layer, command T or control T, free transform, fill the canvas, return or enter. So we just resized all of them. These eyes here you can click and just drag down, so you can switch them all off in a flash like that. Now what we can do is we can highlight save art, and then we can hold down shift and click make mockup as well. And what Photoshop will do is save this image in the right place in the publish folder, so it will automatically save it. Then it will go through our make mockup, so it will be picking that artwork out of the folder and putting it on your mockup. So let's go ahead and hit play. See if I'm quick enough, I can get into the folder. We'll do another one in a minute. I'll do one more and you can actually see it changing. So once you go through this process once, so I'm going to change the design, I'm going to highlight both the actions, hit play, and quickly get to my folder. So we see it saved the art, and then we see it's taken the art and it's putting it on our mugs for us. Okay, so let's say that's design 1. What I always do is my publish folder here, I right click, I copy, I paste, I name it, so let's just go design 1. Okay, whatever the design might be. Back to my artwork PSD, highlight both of these, hit run, come back here, have a look, It's going to flip out those designs nice and easy. Okay, once it's finished, right click, copy, paste. Oops. Rename. Design 2. Okay, and then if you want to, you can group those and just call these done, or whatever you want to call them, or the design pack or whatever. Okay, let's run one more. Save up, make mockup. Back here, have a look in our publish folder. Let's boss those on. Okay, right click, copy, paste, rename, design 3, chuck it in your done folder, and keep going and going and going. Okay, so you can, like I say, my photographs were really horrific, but with a little tiny bit of practice and a bit of phone as well and some good lighting, you can easily do your own mug mock-ups all day long. They're super easy to do. In fact, let me see, let me go here on Place It. Now this is another I'll show you another trick that you can do. I don't know how many people use Place It here, but what you can do with Place It, and what I do is, because it takes absolutely ages, say you've got hundreds of designs to do on Place It, you can go, you have to upload an image, right? So what I do is, I've still got it. Yeah, I've got I created a canvas that was 2800 by 3200, just like we did with the art thing. I get my brush tool, I click this color box here, make sure it's set to white or black if you're doing black, and then just do a simple dot in the middle, and then save this as a PNG. I come on to Place It, I upload a PNG which is essentially empty except for a couple of little pixels with a dot that you can't even see. Hit that in there, and then I hit download. Let's go to downloads and grab one. Okay, I already did some of these because this is going to be a much better picture. So you can, you know, you might be able to get some stock images from somewhere, but the whole point of taking your own picture is you're going to be unique. But this photograph should be a million times better than the one I just took. Let's open this up. Okay, let's try this process again. What I'm going to do is go to my art template, whack these on, quickly run my art. Okay, one more time, let's hit it. Mug Mockups, publish. Okay, so let's say you're making yourself a new PSD. Drag and drop, press return, don't resize it yet, name the layer if you want to, place art here, right click on the empty space, convert to smart object, Command T or Control T to put it into free transform, roughly give it a shot on the mugs with your height and width. Okay, then while you're still in free transform, come up to edit, transform, warp, try and follow the contours of the, you know, this curvature of the cup down at the bottom. Always try and grab it in the middle. Okay, a little bit more there, maybe up a little on here. Okay, up a little on there. You've got to be careful. If it all goes wrong, highlight this layer, just press backspace and have another pop at it. I'm just going to go back into warp. This looks like it needs to, whoops, go up a little. Okay, something like that. Okay, let's get ourselves a design again. Turn these off, that on. Save the art. Double click in the top left hand corner. Find your art, drag, drop it in, press return or enter, turn off the red layer, hit close the tab, hit save, boom, there we go. So now what you can do, if you do use Place It, you can literally go in and grab all the good photography from here, but you know, they are good mock-ups, but the problem is tons of people use them. The great thing you can do with taking your own pictures and doing this is be absolutely unique, and it's dead easy to do. A little bit of practice, a little bit of better lighting and a bit of staging with some coffee and stuff like that, and you'll have some great mock-ups. Okay, hope you found it helpful, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye for now.